Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is mistakes young men make. Well, if you're a young guy listening to this, I think you'll get quite a bit out of it. If you're an old guy, you'll probably know that this is how your life got all jazzed up in the first place, and maybe you can make some adjustments even if you're older, so it isn't just for young men. So I'll get right into it. What are some mistakes young men make? Well, when you're young, that is the time that you should focus on on building yourself up and doing the things that are easier for young men, like weight training, keeping a flatter belly, focusing on improving your appearance by doing those things, right? Eating right, getting enough sleep, taking care of yourself, spending modest amounts of money on decent clothing and decent shoes, weight training appropriately, build up your muscle size, keep your belly flat. All these things young men need to do to help you become more comfortable in your own skin, basically, with yourself. As you get older, it gets tougher and tougher to keep a flat belly, and tougher to have time to weight train, and tougher to make gains and get good muscle size. So you want to do it when you're young. That's the time you probably need to look your best. That will help you in everything you do as a young man to look as good as you can look. Now, you don't have to take this too far and be worried about being a male model. That's totally ridiculous. You don't have to take this too far and worry about having massive bodybuilder muscles. You see, all of that is fine, except it's totally unnecessary and probably not realistic for most men. You see what I mean? It's not realistic for most men to have bodybuilder muscles and proportions. Even if you take huge amounts of steroids, you still need the genetics and the obsession with the doing it. So you can't just be obsessed, or you can't just lift a little bit, and you can't just take some steroids. You got to do all of that. So I would say don't worry about that. That's totally unnecessary. You don't need that. The men who are in movies, the men who make a living as a male model, professional sports, you need all that. But is that you? No, it isn't. So you want to go from looking kind of slovenly and not that good to making improvements, and this isn't that hard for a younger man. 6 months of weight training, you can pack on a lot of muscle. 6 months of dieting, you can get a pretty flat belly. It doesn't get in contact lenses. It's just $500, right? Growing your facial hair, it doesn't cost you anything. Getting a good shirt, $50, $100, right? It does. There's a little bit of money to improve yourself, and plus there's the mind work of thinking that you matter enough to do these things, and knowing that if you can look a little bit better, you're going to do better with the ladies. It'll be easy. You'll gather a little more respect. I know it may seem a little bit superficial, but that's just how the world works. If you have unruly hair, you got to get a nice haircut. You want to make some effort to looking a little bit better than you do now. And for some of you guys, you might need to make a lot of effort, right? If you got a fat belly and no muscle and no decent clothes and unruly mop of hair and glasses, Well, you gotta change all of that. I'm sorry. But all of the things I've said can be easily done by you with some effort. What else do young men do that they shouldn't? Well, a lot of you wear way too tight of pants and underwear, and that ruins your testicle area. It flattens it out, it pushes it between your legs, it lowers your testosterone. You don't want to do that. You want to wear loose pants and give yourself some room to, all of that. So you want, it's hard. Let's say you're already fat, and what you'll have to do is you'll have to buy even bigger pants to have more space in them, and that's not easy. So all these things kind of work together to help you, right? And I'm just wanting to help you avoid the mistakes I made. When I was a young man, I had too tight of pants and too tight of underwear, and it's always uncomfortably squashed, and that doesn't help your appearance. That doesn't help you how you feel about yourself. It doesn't help your testosterone production. Another mistake young men do is you overdo the exercise and get too run down. You get excited about a weight training program or a cardio program or some kind of sport you're in, and you'll get totally too far into it and hurt, whipped, beat, exhausted, overtrained. And that's not what you want either. What you want is to have those athletic things that you do make your life better, not worse. And there's a fine line. There's a point where you're lifting, and all of a sudden, instead of getting bigger muscles and feeling great and looking darn good, you hurt yourself and are totally out of the gym for months at a time, or at minimum, you're too tired to go out on the weekend. Right? That's a mistake that young men make. You want to have plenty of energy to have fun, to enjoy your life. You got to make the weight training and the athletic stuff be a contributor to that, not something that eliminates it. You got to have enough energy to go out on Friday and Saturday night and have a great time. Another mistake young men make are being too into politics. Regarding the politics, that kind of stuff comes and goes, ebbs and flows. Your person may get in, or they may not get in. In either case, you're going to have to adapt to the changes that will be triggered by the new people. So I would say, don't worry about that so much. Yeah, you can talk about politics. It's fun. It's interesting. It's engaging. But it's still your life to craft and create. The politics, who's president, who's in the top of whatever political thing you're in, whatever government you're living in, you have to think of them as it's almost like a natural disaster that's going to happen. That they're going to come in and make changes to this wherever you're at, and you'll have to adapt. It's just like a hurricane coming and blasting out a hurricane-prone area, right? The hurricane doesn't care, right? It comes in and destroys everything in its path, and then you'll have to just pick up the pieces afterwards. Well, to me, that's just like politics. And hopefully, what would be better is for you to be prepared for the hurricane, knowing that it's going to make a massive disruption in your life, but maybe you'll be prepared enough and strong enough to withstand it, even if it is quite disruptive. So don't worry about politics so much. Worry about your own life and do all the things I'm talking about. Your life would can go up, up, up. Another thing young men do that's kind of a mistake is being afraid to do certain things that you shouldn't be afraid of doing, like going out on the town by yourself. I wasn't able to do this as a young man. It wasn't until I was an old man that I could do this. And I found out as an old man that it's pretty fun, and you meet new people and you have some fun, and you kind of enjoy yourself. You kind of spread some happiness by your own actions, which is instead of just spreading the fun to the friends you're with, you're spreading it to strangers, and it's pretty nice, actually. I would encourage you young men to in addition to having a good time with your friends when you go out, try to go out alone. Push yourself past your comfort zone and go out alone. The same goes for traveling. The best trips I've had have been alone. Everything, you can do a lot more. You don't have to check in with anybody. Now, it is scary, and that's the fear part. It's scary to do this by yourself. So you have to look at it from a point of view. If I go out by myself, you're the young man going out by yourself, you wouldn't want to get so carried away with the drinking that you're a total mess. You know, you don't have your friends to watch your back. You don't have your friend to make sure you get a ride home, right? You have to do all that. So you got to lessen the chances you take that way. The same with the traveling. You can't just rely on your friend to have the car keys and a cell phone if you lose yours. No, you. If you lose your phone or your car keys or your wallet, you are screwed, right? So it forces you to think more. It forces you to be more aware, and it's good for you. I found it very, very good for me, and very, very fun, exciting, adventurous. It adds a lot to my life. And I wish I would have done it as a younger man. I wish I would have learned how to go out as a younger man. Another thing young men do that they shouldn't is they settle for the wrong woman. I think you want to be very, very, very careful in the types of women you get involved with, and be willing to move on if she's not right for you. In whatever way that she's not right for you, or you two are not right for each other, you would move on. And I think a lot of men, because of all the other things I talked about, they get a girl, and even if she's not right for them, they don't move on, and that will ruin your life. That happened to me. I didn't feel good about myself. You know, when I found her, my wife, I wasn't confident in my ability to go out and meet girls. Even though I had met a lot of girls, and even though I was having a lot of fun, I still was not confident in that ability. And I kind of settled. I thought, and everything went along with the settling. Sometimes the settling is really going too fast, and you want to slow down the relationships. Girls are very, very good at making things go fast, and you don't want that as a man. You want your relationships to go slow, deliberate, step by step. Yes, you want to get to sex right away. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the commitment part. That part you want to go step by step. You're analyzing her life, you're analyzing you two together, you're analyzing everything that goes into that life together. Is that something you want for the long term? So you don't want to be fast about relationships. You want to go slow, deliberate. And some women aren't going to like this. Right? They're going to want to go fast. But that would be your cue that woman is not right for you if she insists on you speeding things up, the two of you. You want things to go slow and deliberate. where you have time to know what's going on with your own life. So I think those are kind of the main things. I hope that'll help a few young men. I know if I would have heard this 30 years ago, it would have saved me a world of hurt, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to save you a world of hurt. If you're a young man and you've already made a big mistake and you're in with the wrong woman, well, get my book, Leave Your Wife and Become a Happier Man, with the 3-step system available on the ahappierman.com website. It'll save your life. Whether you're old or a young man, that book will be very, very helpful for you to decide if you should end the relationship, and some steps on how to do it and why to do it and what some things are, what you have to look forward to. Because the world, it's so good when you're happy and things are going your way. It's so good. You would not, if I knew how good the life could be, when I was a young man, that would be fantastic. But so that's what I'm hoping. Check out some of my other videos and articles. It'll help you. All for now.